So, well, we are here with Tony Kakko on Sonata Arctica. So, Tony, thanks for having me. How are you doing? Nice t-shirt.
Thanks very much. Thank you very much. Love it myself. And thanks for having me. Happy to be here talking about the good stuff, the upcoming tour.
Yes, well, my first question is about your upcoming tour, your upcoming concert in Brazil in Bangers Open Air. Because I checked that your recent setlist features songs from seven different Sonata Arctica records. Was it
Yeah.
intentional to include such a wide range of records?
Actually, it would be wonderful if we could have all of them there, but we didn't pay any attention to from which um, uh, album many of the songs are from. We just wanted to make a set list that is pretty much straightforward, sort of like the old school power metal esque thing, and have as much as those as many songs that people who enjoy power metal want to hear on the set list as possible. And so far, it's been working great. We've been using this set list in Europe, in Finland, and in Japan as well, and people seem to love it. So I think it's going to be a pretty much rave in Latin America as well.
Yeah, since the new record is more power metal oriented, do you think that the whole setlist somehow was influenced towards that direction? Songs like San Sebastian and Wilson Raven, for example.
We just, a couple of the couple of previous albums, they drifted, especially the previous one, it drifted quite far away from what North Arctica really is about. And we had this 25th anniversary festival thing, like 2020 something, during the Corona years, actually, still. And we played old school Sonata Arctica set list with a lot of those power metal songs, and we just loved how people reacted to those songs, and we were completely surprised by how much fun it was to play also those songs. And so we enjoyed doing it, and so that's when it sparked that we really actually should also go back in a power metal style with our next album, and that Clear Cold Beyond came out the way it did because of that.
Okay, and well, the power metal style is very fast, very. I think it maybe some difficult to play alive, and you are kind of an older guys now. Do you think that it's difficult to play any particular songs now?
No, no. There are some songs that we have tuned down a little bit just because, I was 20 something, and already when we were recording those songs, they were way too high. I was unable to really sing them already back then. So those were just impossible songs to do correctly for me. But my range is what it is. Some singers can do those for sure, of course, but for me, we recorded those songs in a too high key. So we have lowered them down some, but if the song doesn't sound okay, correct, and hitting enough when we lower it down, then we are just gonna skip it all in all. Just find other songs to use on our set list. But you need to adapt with age and everything. It's a physical physical thing. It doesn't come alone. There's a lot of tiny problems with aging, but we are not that ancient yet. We can definitely do the power metal stuff. And even better, like Tommy, he has never been in better shape as a drummer. So, and he probably has, along myself, the most physical part of this set list. He's gonna do the really fast drumming, but as a singer, I'm using my self, my body as an instrument. So that's like at least the second most demanding spot on stage. Also, I
Yeah,
need to
well,
jump around quite a bit. So yeah.
yeah. Can you remember any particular song? Not from the set list, but for example, "Respect the Wilderness." For example, I think it's very high pitched.
Yeah, there are quite a few songs in the old Sonata Arctica albums that are extremely high, and those are crazy, just like impossible to do in that original form. And also one big problem why some of the songs are practically impossible to change or lower the key is that I'm using very high range as a singer. Some songs I'm singing very low, and then I'm singing extremely high in the same song. So if you shift it in one way or the other, it gets impossible to perform. It gets too high, or then sometimes it happens so that the parts sort of change places, that you're singing the lower parts higher than the high parts, you know. You can't just make it work anymore. So I think it's much smarter than just, you know, leave those songs be and live on the album. They are not, you know, gone forever in that sense, but in that they are not suitable for live performance. Yeah.
Yes, and Clear Code Beyond continues the Caleb saga with Dark Empire. Could you talk a little bit more where the character Caleb stands now in this chapter?
Well, I loved the first song, the end of this chapter already, and then "Don't Say a Word" was the song that sort of solidified that this is going to be something larger, something that I might actually bring these characters up in on the later Sonata Arctic albums as well. So I started introducing them, you know, Juliet and Caleb and so forth. So it's something that is very nice to go back to on every album if I just come up with a song that is sort of deserving of that title of being part of the Caleb saga. And it's a lot of fun. And also this is in a way giving us a chance to one day, if we don't come up with any special albums or just want to have a different kind of tour, reach different kind of audience, we might already with these Caleb Saga songs that we have go and play a full set. Basically, there are so many of those songs there that, you know, and we have actually done that in Finland in some point. We played, and of course it was lacking some of the newer Caleb Saga songs, but we played like maybe 5 of those songs plus Larger Than Life and both of the White Pearl Black Oceans on that set list. So that was a very special set list, and people seemed to love it, although it was quite different from your normal Sonata Arctica set list.
Yes, well, I want to talk a little bit about other records. One that I want to ask you, it's about the record The Days of Grace, because I think it's the most symphonic Sonata Arctica album. So how did the idea to bring that kind of orchestral sound came about? And is that something that you want to do it again in the future?
Which album you were talking about? It cut.
Sorry, The Days of Grace.
Days of Grace. Yeah, right. Well, I had done some orchestrations on the previous album, Junia, and I wasn't very happy. And I found this guy. We actually worked with Mikko Mustonen on Northern Kings album. I worked with him, you know, and he did wonderful job. He had to like he can just do magic with those things, and so I contacted him, and he was willing to jump in as well and do his bits. The arrangements and the like symphonic thing I think is and they just sound amazing, and you know, I would love to use him in the future as well. But he has become such a professional that he's not exactly free. You know, it's expensive service to use, so I'm trying to do my best with whatever I can do on my own, and you know, I'm getting better at it all the time, but you know, he's super professional with it, so you know, maybe in the future we might go back there, but you know, it demands some moolah.
Okay. And Tony, can you hear me better like this?
This is, yeah, but a little bit better, yeah.
Okay. Uh, which Sonata Arctica I want to know, in your opinion, which album transition marked the biggest leap in quality for Sonata Arctica?
Biggest leap in what? In success or
In quality.
quality? Ah, wow. I think every album has changed what Sonata Arctica is in a way, but it's very hard to say. Because we in the early days we were pretty consistent until Junia, which changed the music style, but I don't know, like quality. Some people think Junia is Sonata Arctica's best album, which is cool. But like generally speaking, people seem to frown upon the album quite a bit. But um, mm, I think Days of Grace was one big jump in the right direction that Sonata Arctica should sound like. It was crisper. It had all the artistic things that I love myself, and but it's very hard to say that. I'm not sure if we actually had any huge leaps, like jumping from a demo band to a completely professional artist. We just, have developed slowly along the years and changed as human beings and as artists as well. So, yeah, it's impossible for me to say. I think it's anyway better if other people make that decision for us, because it's a matter of opinion, basically.
Yes. Well, another question for you is about the song "The Power of One," because I think it's one of the most progressive and ambitious songs, but it was released on Silence record, which is more straightforward. And I've always found this contrast interesting. What is the songwriting process for this track?
Well, I remember not quite as if it was yesterday. That was a long, long time ago, 2000, and I think I wrote it like 2000, so 25 years ago. So it was pleasant. Was just writing a long song. I knew that when I started. I had like a lot of ideas in my drawer, and I was just trying to find the right ones to use on that on that song, and I we already had a longer song on the debut album Ecliptica, and I definitely wanted to have another long one on Silence album. So early on, when I started compiling the ideas, it was pretty obvious that these ideas sound like something that this might be a bigger song. And I already at that point had the idea that to use the inspiration of a book by the same name, The Power of One by Bruce Courtney, and it was just perfect sort of backdrop for the song as well. Talk about the subject of racism and such things such a large, huge song for Sonata Arctica, and it took probably quite a long time to get it together. But I always have loved the sort of larger canvas that a long song. When you start writing a long song, it allows you to put a lot of different kind of ideas and stuff on it, and still sort of have a backbone that you can return to certain ideas and consider them as a kind of chorus, something that you repeat along the song, and then you can change the themes much more so than on a short, like 4 minute song. You cannot play with the concept, with an idea as much. You can change the key and then take a minor and put it on a major scale or whatever, and then just fool around, change tempos and take harmony and use it as a lead melody, and such. You can do so much more when you have a long song to play around with. I just loved it, and I always have loved writing longer songs. Also, I have a
Yes,
tendency to write a lot of lyrics on the songs. So when I'm writing a long song, I'm really getting into it and putting a lot of words in the song. But also, I feel much more at ease at giving room for solos for Henka and Elias to do their stuff there as well.
yes. Okay, well, the new album, Clear Beyond, features a military helmet on the cover. And you've touched on war themes before. like metaphorically, in, for example, what did you do in the war that and replica. Uh, is there a current pattern on or message behind these war themes?
Um, it's a thing that there's a war happening in the world all the time. Unfortunately, should not be so, but it is, and currently there's a little bit larger war closer to home raging here. So it's and the world is sort of unstable in that sense as well, a little bit, and for other reasons as well. But you know, um, it's something that I just feel like writing at writing about at times. You know, the war is it's I have this sort of spark towards really dramatic, sad lyrics, be it love song. I have not written many happy love songs, and war is something that there are very few good things about war, besides it finally one day ending. But you know, so it's easy to dig in and find the trauma and tragedy from that thing, and it's just always serving me much better than writing about sunshine and happiness. It's for some reason it's been always very hard for me. It feels sort of corny, and anyway, it's I find it more rewarding to find deep sad emotions from people and getting feedback from, you know, that I have touched someone in a deeper level, and in some ways I find it difficult with a happy song. They are touching sometimes as well, but you know, in a different way.
Yeah, I would ask another question, but since you mentioned happy songs, I think one happy, I think I can say happy song from Sonata is the song "In the Dark." Do you think this is happy enough for Sonata? What's the story behind it?
I can't even remember. It's just, you know, one of those love songs. You know, there are a million love songs in the world, millions, and just one of what I it was way too long time ago now. I've moved forward and written so many songs since, so it's I can't even remember. It's just, you know, I probably took the inspiration from some movie or something like that, and just, or then it was just a compilation of ideas and lines. I'm constantly writing down, you know, lyrical lines that come into my head and such things, and then I just, oh, this fit really well together, and suddenly you have a sort of core that you can start building around, like the bones, and then just putting the flesh around it a little bit, and suddenly you have a beautiful love song. And sometimes it's easier if you approach the lyrics from a totally different angle. Like if you're writing a dirty song, basically, like writing about awful shit, and then just, oh, this is nice, this is very beautiful. Just, you know, change all the bad stuff and dirty stuff, and put some romantic stuff or whatever on, you know, there instead. So it just works much better. But that's just, you know, using it as a segue, sort of, to find the right way to bring the song out.
Okay, Tony, we are reaching the end. So I want to ask you if you can name five rappers that have made the have that impact your life somehow.
Wow. Queen Live Magic was the first cassette that I ever purchased. It was like a bunch of three cassettes. I was joining this music club in Finland, and as a free gift when you joined, you got like three cassettes. And Live Magic by Queen was the number one thing that has hit me so hard, and I could just, you know, fill the list with all Queen albums just easily. But let's put it there. That has been one game changer for me. And well, I'll choose Diesel and Dust from Midnight Oil. That's one album that I've been listening to extensively. I have like this holy three Midnight Oil albums: Diesel and Dust, Blue Sky Mine, and Earth and Sun and Moon. Those are my three favorite Midnight Oil albums, and I could just use any of those on this list. And Stratovarius, Visions, because Sonata Arctica would not probably be Sonata Arctica had there not been Visions album. Well, and Nightwish Oceanborn came around the same time, and that sort of pushed Sonata Arctica even further, making sure that Jesus Christ will really belong into this kind of thing. And and wow, it's gonna be difficult to find the fifth one. There's this artist in Finland called Jukka Karjalainen, J. Karjalainen, and he did this Lännen Jukka of the West, sort of Finnish American songs, and he was just singing there with a very, very raspy voice and playing banjo, and that album sort of brought me back into music and changed a lot of things about my musical taste, and I started finding many different musical styles after listening to that album, and it just hit me big time. It's weird to maybe name it here, but it's honest to God truth, because I had not listened to any music for about a year, and suddenly I saw this guy in and he's a really very famous Finnish artist, and he just changed his style for this one album or two albums actually. But anyway, I saw him in the morning TV. He was interviewed and played one song there, and I was like, oh my God, this is so good. And I immediately purchased the album. I actually bought 2 or 3 of them and gave away as a gift. and I just listened to that and moved on to Ray Charles and other, a little bit jazzy and older music, and started finding a lot of great stuff from there. So that sort of sparked my inspiration and love for music again, because that was during the time when Sonata Arctica had been very busy with 3 or 4 albums, I think, at that point, and I was just super burned out and tired, and I didn't want to listen to music anymore, and it just saved my music listening hobby in a way, and functioned as an inspiration for future as well. So that's 4, right? 5, right?
5.
Yeah, perfect.
Well, Tony, thanks for your interview. Please leave a final message to your Brazilian fans.
Well, we are coming in Latin America, so come and see us if we are anywhere near that you are able to come there. It doesn't happen every day, so this is a chance for you to see Sonata Arctica at its finest. We are playing a lot of the songs that you really want to hear. There's going to be San Sebastian and Wolf and the Raven and such classics there, and many more. So make sure you make your way there and stay healthy. Love you and see you soon.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.